Good day, dear friend. So much to say. I don't even know where to start. Let me first of all thank you for being a part of this. And let me say that I think we've got some very, very, very good news. We've got to see we're seeing what appears to be, I think, something to the effect of change to show our strength. Remember what we are trying to involve here. We want to win and we want to crush the enemy. Do I make myself clear? I don't want to do some things like, oh, this is great. No. I want to have great politics, great policy, and crush the enemy. Everything else I'll work on. I don't want President Trump just to win a few things. I want him to destroy my flag. Got to put my flag there. I want the president to destroy the Democrats. If he doesn't destroy the Democrats, we're wasting our time. He cannot merely win, say goodbye, and then it all comes back to the way it was 4 years from now. That means leadership. That means three, count them, 3 winning cycles. 2024, midterms, and then 2026, or whatever it is, right? No. What am I saying? Yeah, right. Now, I know a lot of you are interested in doing the right thing. I know a lot of you have some wonderful ideas, as do I. And I know many of you are in the mode of winning. Stick with me on this, and I'll tell you exactly what we have to do. And the first thing we have to do is stop wasting our time with things that don't matter. There's some crazy people out there. Did you see this feller? Did you happen to see this? Oops, not him. No, he's not. He's fine. Just a second. It's this feller. No, that's not it. This feller. No, that's not it. Hang on. It's this feller. There we go. Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum is demanding that there be a global ban on homegrown food to meet net zero. Now, I know you're laughing. I know you're thinking, oh, that's crazy. Nobody cares. No, they're not going away. They are not going away. If you think somehow we don't have to worry about this feller or anybody else, oh, no. They are not going away. Geoengineering, not one mention. Bobby Kennedy's talking about red dyes and Dr. Oz. What the hell he's talking about? Not one. I think he was on maybe. I think Bobby had on Dane Wigington, the best, by the way, the godfather of this. So what I'm telling you, and I'm trying to make this very, very clear, is that we have a lot at stake here. And the reason why we have a lot at stake is that these people are not going away. They have to be crushed. They have to be destroyed. They have to be hurt, figuratively. Because it's not just enough for us to say, hey, we got Cash Patel in. Hey, Don Bongino's in. Hey, that's good. No. That's not enough. We have to destroy them. So sit back, my friends. Sit back. Get ready. We have a lot to discuss. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation right now. Like this. This is what puts us in the HOV lane. But first, my friend, this important word. If you're watching this, consider yourself warned. Food prices are about to explode, and the time to prepare is now. Listen, go to preparewithlionel.com. preparewithlionel.com and secure your 4-week emergency food supply now while supplies last. With new tariffs, listen to me, with new tariffs slamming the global market and inflation spiraling, your grocery bill is about to skyrocket. When the crisis hits, shelves will be empty, and those who didn't prepare will be left desperate. History proves it. Every major economic collapse, every supply chain disruption, the first thing to go is food. You do not want to be waiting in government lines, hoping there's enough left for you and your family. This 4-week emergency food kit delivers over 2,000 calories per day, ensuring you have the nutrients you need and your family needs to weather the storm. It's fortified for survival, packed in rugged, long-term storage containers, and can last up to 25 years. So when disaster strikes, you'll be ready. Order today, and you'll get 4 free 72-hour food kits. That's 12 extra days of meals at no cost. The regular price is $346.80, but right now, you get it for just $247. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, and lock in your emergency food supply before the real panic begins. All right, my friends. Now, let's make sure we start from the beginning, okay? Let me see if we go through a couple of things here. Let me bring this to your attention first and foremost. Number one, the president is doing some incredible crush, as you say. Indeed. This is what the president said today, and I want you to listen very carefully, and I hope that you will hear his words. Listen carefully. I hope, because my stuff has been acting really weird lately. Nope, no good. Sorry, I knew it. I knew it. I have had one of the most incredibly one of the hardest things to figure out, and I'm pretty good at this usually. I will figure out 2 things that drive me berserk. Number one, 90% of the people on my newsletters get them, and 10% don't. And I look and there was a thing called engaged listeners or viewers, and then 5-star. But new were not in the category of engaged. So when I was sending them to engaged, new people weren't. So that's that. All of a sudden, StreamYard is doing this crazy thing where the audio works or it doesn't work. And I'm going to figure that thing out. Listen to me. Stop what you're doing. And here's the best bit of advice ever. Life is like being MacGyver, figuring out how things work, being absolutely crazed about figuring out how things work, not giving up, but figuring I'm going to work this out. I'm going to figure it. There's normally there's something, especially when it comes to all things, you have no idea. When I do a YouTube, I've got to do the thumbnail, and I use Canva, and I use this, and I use that, and then sometimes this will show up, and then all these figures. Life is like that. People are like that, figuring things out. You know what I found out today? I didn't find out, but I was explaining to somebody. There is absolutely no difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump in foreign policy. None. With the exception of maybe Russia. That's the only one. Everything else, Israel, identical. Houthis, identical. European Union, it's different with European Union. But when it comes to this, so I'm figuring out, all right, I got to figure this thing out. How do I explain to somebody? You know what the answer is? Leave that out. Don't tell people about this because people don't understand, they don't care, so leave it up. But just to let you know, Marco Rubio, bless his heart, thinks he's a senator? No, I don't know what he thinks. This is not the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State is diplomacy. So, going back to what I said, life is figuring things out. And the first thing you got to figure out is these are the people that were here. So, when it comes to Lionel's rule, forget international relations. I think we're making some progress. I think we're making some progress regarding Russia. Russia is not our enemy. Russia is a nuclear power. Why do we want problems with Russia? I don't know. How do you tell Russia, we want you to have a ceasefire? Did you hear, was it Waltz or Witkoff? I forget who it was. They're going to Russia and they're saying, we want you to sign a ceasefire. Why? We're beating them. We're beating them. I don't understand this. Why do we say, okay, we'll stop? This is what we started. We already wanted to work this out with you. Boris Johnson, other people said, no. Okay, fine. So what do you want me to do now? You want us, listen to this, to stop. Why? And by the way, when you stop in the 30 days, we're going to rearm Ukraine with more weapons to shoot at you. Work with me on this. Work with me on this. What? The president should be this. That's enough. We're done. Zelensky, we're done. Put an end to this. Stop this. End this. End this now. Now. Let me say this again. You're Vladimir Putin. You're sitting back there and if you wanted to wipe out Ukraine, you could have taken him out. But you didn't. You didn't. First of all, if there's anybody who's ever cared more about people's lives, it's him. Nobody. He's not Stalin. He's not Mao. He's not any of these folks. Not once. Not any of them. So we go to them and we're saying, please stop this. Why? Well, because we don't want there to be war. You don't want there to be war? Excuse me, the United States doesn't want there to be war? You don't like war? Well, what are you doing with Israel? Hey, wait a minute. Don't start with that. What about, don't bring that up. So what do? We blew the hell out of the Houthis. Why? Because Iran is training them or something. This is Israel. What are you doing? What are you doing? This has nothing to do with us. Why are we pissing off you know who these people are? Do you know what they control? I don't understand any of this stuff. So I'm telling you right now, I don't know. It's like, look, Bibi's got a lot of problems. Did you see what was the head of Shin Bet? Basically says, we got more dirt on you. So he got rid of him. He fired him. Bibi is hanging by a thread. I don't understand this connection. I don't get it. I love Israel, the country, love the people, love the visiting, love the culture. Bibi Netanyahu, I don't know what he's talking about. I have no clue. What are you doing? Why are we what are we doing? What is our end game? The whole world. Why don't you worry about ending this? No, it's Hamas. Where do you come up with this stuff from? Where do you come up with these ideas, these boogeymen? I'm not saying there's no Hamas. Don't get me wrong. There's some pretty bad dudes. But you're killing, I don't know how many people. So figure things out. Answer this question. Let me just tell you something. When it comes to foreign policy, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I have no earthly idea. I wouldn't mind going into Mexico and tearing these people up. I mean, declaring, you want to declare a war? Declare war on Mexico. Declare war on whoever the cartels are, but not the Houthis, not Hezbollah and Lebanon. What are we doing? We have not, why are we pissing off these people? They mean nothing to us. Surreal news cycle, loving it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. What the hell's the matter with you? I do not understand it. So, got to figure it out. What do we do? I just say, okay, nobody's listening to me. That's a part of can't have everything. I know if I sat down with President Trump and I would ask him, can you close that door, Mr. President? Yes. Are you kidding me? I know. You've got to be shitting me. You don't believe this, do you? Seriously. I know you don't. You're a smart guy. You're bottom line. Who's telling you this? I know. The Houthis? What is the matter with you? I don't. Okay. Well, you know what? We agree to disagree. Move over. Next. The best line, and I would have loved so much to somehow, oh God, I would have loved to have played this for you, but I can't. Wait a minute. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. What am I trying to say? There was a great line of Tom Homan. Tom Homan is so good and so wonderful. Cannot pronounce words. It's like he's got marbles in his mouth. I mean, it's really, really bad. It's bad. It's hard to understand anything he's saying. And the other one too, I like his style, but absolutely, positively, spend any amount of time. And I like him because I think I like his spunk. But Lawrence, whatever his name is, on the morning show of Fox News, oh my God. Oh. Do him a favor. Teach him how to pronounce words. You're in the big league. Don't put somebody up who's very good, very smart, but who, by virtue of his regionalism or his patois, don't move on. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody cares. Move on. But going back to what I said about Biden, so Holman said, I think he said, it's hard to hear what there was a guy years ago, Senator Claude Pepper from Florida. What? Are you gargling? Mitch McConnell sort of does it. Anyway, they asked Tom Homan, are you using this old law? This old law. Are you using this old law to alien and whatever, to get rid of these people? He says, old law, he says, the Constitution's older than this. We still use the Constitution. What do you mean, old law? And he shook his head and walked off. It was beautiful. And I'd play it for you if my sound was working, but we got to move on. Now, the issue becomes, Mr. President, you cannot merely say, and this is where you can have them, you cannot merely stand in the archway of a airplane and say, yeah, I think it's pretty much void. This pen, auto pen stuff. No. Pam Bondi has to get the Office of Special Counsel or whatever this is. This is the president's lawyer, so to speak. They work in conjunction with the DOJ. And you are going to announce you are impaneling a grand jury. Write this down. And you are going to determine whether President Biden was what was able, was cognitively and legally able to actually issue, or whether the auto pen was used, whether it was valid, whether it was whatever it is, whether he was competent, whether somebody else used it. Now, here is the question for you, dear class. Let's assume that we know of something that might be void ab initio, void from the beginning. Void from the beginning. Let me give you an example. True story, years ago. I got a call one night from an old neighbor of mine, and he was, as we say, shingad. He was gone. He was pretty loaded. Now, what happened to him? Wait a minute. Cruz Lifestyle said, regarding AutoPen, Biden judicial appointments rendered invalid. Well, we'll get to that. We will get to that. So my friend called me, and he was going through some papers, and he found out that he was married to his wife on, let's say, March the 1st, but his wife's divorce was final March 2nd. It's a true story. Is he married? Nope. Void ab initio, from the beginning. Let's assume there is a president of the United States, and the president of the United States was actually 34 years old by one day. He was a twin. The twin was born first. He was born later. So technically speaking, he was 34.9 years old when he was sworn in. I think you have to say, sworn in, run for, to maybe, you might be 34 years old. You got to be 35. Maybe to run, but by the time you're sworn in, you got to be 35 years old. Okay. Let's say he wasn't. Let's say that this person was born in the United States, spent most of his life absolutely born in the U.S. At the age of 3, his parents moved to the United Kingdom, where he stayed for 35 years. And then a year before, let's say 5 years before the election, came here and started to introduce himself anymore. You have to be a resident of the United States for 14 years. And we think either 14 cumulative, 14, it doesn't even say whether it's consecutive. So he was not a resident of the United States for 14 years. Is he a president? Nope. Sorry. Let's assume he was born someplace else, like a different country. Is he a president? Nope. Expressio unius est exclusio alterius. The expression of one is the exclusion of another. This is the maxim of statutory construction, strict construction. If it says Tuesday, it means Tuesday. If it means Wednesday, it means Wednesday. This can't drive at night. Felony is a breaking and entering at night. Was at night. If it's sundown, 8 a.m., August 1st, it meant this: 55 miles an hour, not 56 miles an hour. There you have it. Now, the question you ask is, what happens if we find out that Joe Biden basically did not know? If we said, Joe, do me a favor. Did you know anything about this pardon? No. Joe, when this pardon was signed, you were in Rehoboth Beach. Yeah. Did you know anything about the Liz Cheney pardon? No. Did you know about this pardon? No. Did you know about this executive order? You know where this came from? Mike Johnson one time said, hey, Mr. President, I don't like what you did about such and. He goes, what are you talking about? Let's assume, for whatever reason, we find out that not, don't worry about the competence, but let's assume the auto pen was used and uh, Biden says that wasn't me, or I don't adopt it by reference, or I don't validate it, or I don't endorse it, or I don't whatever it is. That means, my friend, that means that the anything that was done by the president, anything that was done is void ab initio, from the beginning, as a great Greg Lakewood intone. Do you hear what's going on with that? You hear that? President Trump has to immediately call Pamela Joe Bondi and say, we're going to do this, and start pushing it and start pushing it. Do not mention it in passing. Do not merely say, well, I'm going to mention this one time. No, 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 no. You push it and push it and push it and push it and bring it up, and don't forget it, and let everybody know. And you hire somebody. You call somebody from the DOJ. What's your name, son? What's your name? Mark? Okay, Mark. Mark, you're in charge of this. If you want a career in law enforcement, you're going to take care of this. You're going to make you're going to own this, and you're going to report every week to Pamela Joe and then to me or whatever it is, and we are not going to let this go. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? I want you to find me one pardon, one judge, one something that we can strike down as void ab initio. And by the way, while you're at it, do me something. Find me something on Obama's birth certificate, because if he's not born in this country, that's it. That's it. It's done. It is done. How Ted Cruz, who was born in Canada, could ever run, I have no idea. I'm not proficient in that, whether your parents or that. This is what this president has to do. 100%. 100%. He has got to own this. Next, I did an email today, or a newsletter, on treason. And I did a video. How do you prove treason? And I had to do it because everybody is always talking about treason. And unless you're at war, you ain't going to get treason. I'm sorry, but I don't know. And treason does not mean saying things. It doesn't mean writing things. It doesn't mean taking it. It means aiding comfort to the enemy. It means a lot more than just that. Do I make myself clear? Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But it's a fascinating issue. Do you know the people in this country who were charged with treason? Anybody? Because you hear it all the time. It's treason. It's treason. I don't even know what this treason is, but it's treason. It's treason. All right. It's not treason. Aaron Burr, but he was acquitted of that. I think John Marshall said, no, this wasn't war. I believe there were some Civil War generals, and Andrew Johnson pardoned them. He goes, no, it's not it. The Rosenbergs, no. Espionage. Espionage is very good, by the way. John Walker Lind, no. They didn't even do him. Two people in recent times. Who were they? Tokyo Rose and Axis Sally. That was it. But there was a war going on, and I think Tokyo Rose was pardoned, and the other one nobody cared about. So treason is just the worst case. You have to either admit it, has to be witnessed by two people. It is the worst. It's the worst. You don't want treason. Don't want treason. Don't say treason. Forget treason. Don't use the word treason. We don't care about. Don't say that. It's like a colloquialism. It doesn't mean what you want. Believe it or not, sedition, seditious conspiracy, and that sort of thing. That's what you do, and that's how you get these people. And I want to see perp walk, Mr. President. I want you to do it. I want you to do it. We are waiting, sir. Dear sir, we are waiting 55 days, roughly. What is it, 55 days, I guess, what we're doing? We are waiting forever for this, sir. We are waiting forever, and it's time that we do something now, kind sir. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely. But the good news is we're making progress. And I think the president is also learning tremendously. I was going to play some. The Democratic Party is disintegrating before our very eyes. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Chuck Schumer had to cancel his book tour because his party's turned on him. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Now, Dan Bongino was sworn in today as FBI director. That's good, as long as he and Cash don't see who's the bigger alpha male, whatever it is. That's fine, terrific. Now, Illinois school locker room policy. Mr. President, make sure you are all over that, sir. Make sure you are all over that, sir. I ask you repeatedly, make sure you own that, sir. Make sure you own it. This is the story. This is what, and I had for you, oh my God, I had this LGBT whatever pronoun mother. You would have wanted to. It's still there. Remember, there's policy, there's politics, and then there's, the issues. There's the policy of the Middle East, there's the history of the Middle East, and there's the politics of it, so to speak. And they're all different. This is the thing that people are absolutely the most crazy about. And all they have to do is just look. Just look at this. The president say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Tell me what you think about that. That's all. All right, my friends. One more thing I want to tell you about, which is so critical. I mentioned this the other day. At the, I guess it was a press conference, one of the best questions ever was from a young lady who was reading from her phone. I thought, well, she doesn't lie. I haven't seen her before. She doesn't look like a real professional. And she asked one of the best questions ever. And where was she from? A place called Mike Lindell or Lindell TV. You know him, don't you? When it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name. And now with MyPillow.com/Lionel, or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in MyPillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, MyPillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that MyPillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why MyPillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, MyPillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. MyPillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. Now, my friends, let me remind you of something, and this is critical. And I know that during the course of our times and our days, we sometimes lose sight of this, but I'm going to tell you something. We are so great, and I am so grateful for this president. I want him to be perfect. I'm impatient. I want the other side to be destroyed, to be crushed immediately. I want them to be destroyed after what we went through. I can't take incompetence. I don't forget things. I just don't. I know what I'm saying is right. I know when to look the other way. Foreign policy, I told you, forget it. Where, for the most part, I think he sees through. I think he sees the big picture. But he's being played, or they're trying to play him like a jadrul, and he's not one. Rob Lowe is 61 years old. Actor Gary Sinise, 70. Kurt Russell is 74. Actor Patrick Duffy, remember that, who killed Bob, or JR, was Bobby. Remember? Civil rights activist Myrlie Evers Williams, well, 92. Myrlie Evers, Medgar Evers' wife. Wow, thank you for that. Bless her heart. So, my friends, that's it. At 8 o'clock or so this eve, I have the third installment of my Gene Hackman videos. Gene Hackman case is the best one there is. And something tells me nothing's going to happen, because the Santa Fe police are going to do everything in their power to just forget the whole thing. And they're not going to do anything to accelerate the resolution of that. Whenever somebody dies, whenever somebody ultimately dies, and nobody speaks for them, I get very upset. And the reason why I get upset is it's almost like the way I feel about children or the elderly, anybody who is victimized by this. And people who are victims, people who are murdered victims in particular, and he could possibly be, they leave clues. And they leave clues, they leave evidence, they leave body, they leave tox chemicals, putrescence. They leave all kinds of physical evidence. The condition of the body tells them timing. And what happens is the person who was the victim turns to you, the investigator, and says, please, please think of me. Go out of your way to be suspicious. Be a conspiracy theorist. Please do this. Help me. Don't let me die in vain. Help me. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, don't let me go. Don't ask questions. They're gonna push you aside. Find out why I did something. Find out how he could have walked around for a week, never picked up the phone. Never once, not see her. Was he so vegged, so gone? He's walking around saying, do. No, I don't think so. Nobody came, nobody saw him. Something's up with that. And she had hantavirus. She died on the 11th, and on the 12th, she supposedly called her doctor and made an appointment. And when she made an appointment, do you know how sick you would have been the day before you die of hantavirus? You first of all, you would have been to the hospital so bad you couldn't breathe. None of that happened. None of this case makes sense. None of it makes sense. And I don't want this man to die in vain. So my third video is up, and I'm telling you, let's have a grand jury. Let's get to the bottom, coroner's inquest, whatever you call it. I want you to never be apologetic for distrusting the government and trusting police. Always look to incompetence first and then corruption next. Don't let that man die in vain. So subscribe to Lionel Nation. Subscribe to Lionel Nation. And by the way, all of you great Lionel Nation members, club members, you get to see the video first. It's there. All right? Okay. So let me just say to you and yours, to Brad Rung and CruiseLifestyle.net and Warren Ocasio and C3D Now, thank you. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget to follow my other channel at Lionel Legal. And whatever you do, I ask you, please make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation here. And thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kindness and your super chats and all of your, just your kindness. It is beyond anything I could imagine. Have a great and glorious day, my friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget these words. Monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.